Alright, let's look at the Module 2 study guide. Shopper uses a department store gift card to pay for 3 sweaters priced at $27. $27 each. What's the change in the value of the gift card? Okay, so if we're looking at this, he has a gift card. Each sweater costs $27, so each sweater the gift card decreases by $27. If he'd buy one, it would be down by 27. He doesn't buy one, he buys 3, so we have to multiply this by 3. Now right away we see that we have a negative times a positive. A negative times a positive gives us a negative answer. So if we're looking at our answers, we know that it cannot be D because we need a negative answer. So let's just multiply. 27 times 3. 3 times 7 is 21, carry the 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. And we knew it was negative, so we have negative 81. The answer to 1 has to be A. Moving on to 2. When the elevator was out of service, she walked down 21 flights of stairs. She stopped to rest after every 3 flights. How many times did she stop to rest? Okay, so we want to know how many times did she stop to rest. That's important. She went down 21 flights and every 3 flights. Okay, so this might look like that we put a negative. However, once we read the question, it'll tell us something about our answer. How many times did Debbie stop to rest? So what kind of answer does that have to be? Well, how many times do you stop to rest? What's the fewest number of times that Debbie could have rested? The fewest number of times would be 0. If she doesn't rest, she rested 0 times. If she stops once, that's 1 time. You can't rest a negative number of times. So A and B cannot be our answer. So she went down 21 flights and she stopped every 3. So we're going to cut this into 3 pieces. 21, or into pieces of 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7, so 2 is D. 3. Last week Clay wrote 4 checks for $20 from his checking account. So he wrote 4 checks for 20. He withdrew another 30 and finally made a deposit of 90. What was the change? Okay, so 4 checks for 20. When you write a check, your account goes down by 20. He didn't do that once, he did it 4 times. Then he withdrew another 30. So he's taking another 30 out. And when we write it, we always like to add. So we're going to add, and withdrawing 30 is negative 30. Finally, he made a deposit of 96. So that's money going in. So that will be a positive 96. What was the change in the balance of his account? So we have multiplication, addition, addition. The order of operations tells us to do this multiplication first. Negative times a positive gives us a negative. 20 times 4 is 80. Now let's bring everything else down. Plus negative 30 plus 96. Now we have all addition. So let's combine the negatives, combine the positives. There's only one positive, so we'll just keep that. But we have negative 80 plus negative 30. Negative plus a negative. So we have 80 negatives. We're adding 30 more negatives. Get 110 negatives. And then let's just bring down this 96. So we have a negative plus a positive. Which one has the greater absolute value? Which one's further from 0? This, so the answer is going to be negative. Now just take their absolute values and subtract them. Minus 6 is 4. Borrow it becomes 10 minus 9 is 1. We knew it was negative, and when we subtract their absolute values, we get 14. So 3 has to be B. On to 4. Which expression would be evaluated as a positive number? Okay, This is a little different than what we've been doing, but it's okay. Let's solve these. So we'll do the top first and then the bottom. -3 times -4. Negative times negative give us positive, and 3 times 4 is 12 over -6. Positive divided by a negative gives us a negative, and 12 divided by 6 is -2. This is not a positive number, so A cannot be our answer. B. Let's do the top. Positive times a negative gives us a negative. 3 times 4 gives us 12 over 6. Negative divided by a positive is a negative, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. Can't be B. Let's try the next one. Negative times a positive gives us a negative. 3 times 4 is 12 over 6. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So I'm guessing it has to be D, but let's solve it anyway. D. Negative times a positive gives us negative, and 3 times 4 is 12 over -6. Negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. We're dividing, and the sign's the same, so the answer is positive. 4 has to be D.